Okay. All right. Let's put this on the recording. In the chat room, there's the link for this article: Why Bitcoin May Reach 20,000 per coin sooner than we think and hope. And this is on Ethereum World News. And it's the link. I'll probably, if you just do a Google search, you'll pull it right up. It's great. If you want to learn about Bitcoin and what the distinct advantages are of it, this article is fantastic, and you want to get yourself a copy. Okay, that said, let's get going over here. Let's get the old masthead up and going. This is the masthead for our presentation, and it says, join our team now. Contact the person who invited you, get back to them, and ask them how to get going. You can also join us there on Facebook, Bitclub Global Leaders, and isn't it Bitclub Network Global Leaders? Did I get that wrong? It is. Well, that's the Facebook address anyway, Bitclub Global Leaders. And join bitcoinclub.com. Bitcoinclub.com is our generic page, and you can go over there and look at some videos all about Bitcoin and about the BitClub. If you need to talk to us for some reason after you've talked to your upline, the person that referred you, or you have additional questions, you can contact us on Skype. There's our Skype email and our email down there. Just be sure you let us know who referred you to the program, okay? If you send us a connect on Skype, let us know that you're contacting us about the BitClub, because if you just use the generic item that says, I want to connect, we don't see those, and we probably won't answer that. All right. We make every effort to ensure that we accurately represent the products and services of BitClub and the potential for economic gain. Earnings or Bitcoin cash flow statements made by the company or members are estimates of what you can possibly receive. There is no guarantee that you will make these levels of Bitcoin, and you accept the risk that the earnings and Bitcoin income possibilities differ by individual, because it matters what you do. The examples are not to be interpreted as any guarantee, promise, representation, or assurance. We do not purport BitClub as being a get-rich-quick scheme, and it certainly is not. Now, with all of my years in financial planning and looking at what's been going on in the country and the value of the dollar, they just drummed that thing into the ground and below the cement. Anybody who has any investments and things in dollars is going to be sadly disappointed. Pensions are failing. The debt is unpayable. Why should these bankers be running things? They certainly are, and they aren't doing it right. Otherwise, we wouldn't have all that debt. That's not good financial practice. In any event, just all I want you to do is get in here, take a look at things, and tiptoe in if you want. Get started. Make sure you're comfortable with everything going on here, and don't put in any more than you'd be concerned about losing. Now, I don't think you're going to lose any money here. I'm quite qualified to say that. I'm also quite happy to recommend a lot of people get over here to solve their pension problems. Pensions are going to be failing. They're already failing. They're already being cut. And as the states begin to fail, like Connecticut is already, and Illinois is, and Maine's got problems, and there's just major financial problems on the future. That's great, good news, isn't it? It's what everybody wants to hear, that we got all these problems coming. Well, the thing is that we have BitClub and we have Bitcoin, and the cool thing is that we can do what's happened in Venezuela and in Greece. They are actually using Bitcoin as a way to sustain their economy. And so my view is, what I'm trying to accomplish here is support a team who want to refer people into the BitClub. We want to make that grow. Why? Because we can create our own economy. And if they do something crazy, like crashing the system for some reason, we don't need to care. We can just continue on and use Bitcoin to buy goods and services and do everything that we need to do. And we have our own economy. It's not dependent on the banking system at all. Bitcoin was the first global digital currency that was based on what's called a blockchain. It's decentralized. That means that the blockchain is nothing more than a ledger, and it's on all of the computers that are called nodes that are participating in the program in the network. If we lost all of them went down in the world, all of the computer nodes, and we only had one left, we could recreate the entire system without any problem. It's self-authenticating. Bitcoin is sent using the internet directly person to person. It does not have to go through any third party or banking institution or anything like that. That doesn't mean that you can't have a third party. You certainly can if you want one, but you really don't need one. And it's safe, it's fast, instantaneous transfer of funds. You don't have to wait weeks and days to move money from one point on the earth to another point on the earth. And it's anonymous. I mean, you don't have any names on the transactions. It's this internet addresses, which aren't names. But it's not totally anonymous. In other words, you can't really hide if you're doing something bad, whatever that might be, and as you think somebody's going to chase you down to find out about it, they can find you, but it'll take them a while, but they can. Anyone can set up a Bitcoin account, no qualifications. That means that minors can have accounts, and they do, many of them. You know, those kids were never going to understand or be subject to the traditional banking systems that we're being forced to put in. You know, what do you mean you can't do anything after 5 o'clock? And you're not open on Saturday? Come on. How do you live your life that way? You know, it's going to be 10 days before we can get the money. You got to hold the check. You won't be hearing that anymore. No fees, no chargebacks, and no borders. Now, there are some small fees imposed by the miners. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Bitcoin is a technology, a protocol, and it is a large network, the largest distributed computing project in the world right now. Bitcoin is not a company. It is not centrally located. There's no place you can go and knock on the door. You go look at their big buildings because there aren't any. And there's nowhere you can write a letter to whoever's running Bitcoin because there is nobody particularly running Bitcoin. It's not proprietary. You can see all the code. It's just open source. And as such, it's not bound by any local jurisdiction or foreign jurisdiction. Bitcoin exists in and of itself on its own on the internet. We like it that way. So who uses Bitcoin? Hundreds of thousands of companies now use Bitcoin. In Japan, they just signed up to use Bitcoin as a currency for the country, and 260,000 merchants signed up right away. Hey, just as soon as they announced it in July. You know, and that's thousands and thousands of people in Japan. They're going to be using it as a currency. It's going to happen in Australia. They've already announced for that kind of thing. Malaysia's just announced for it. Switzerland is taking it. You know, they're taking it for payment for fees. Municipalities are taking it for payments of fees and services. Colleges are taking it for tuition. It's just amazing, you know. On the common guy, you know, the average guy here who's just using it for, you know, daily stuff, he can go to gift. If he needs to buy some clothes or something like that, he can buy a gift card over there. He can take his coins and transfer them over to he buys the gift card with his Bitcoins, is what he does. And then he's able to use that just like whatever he needs in any currency he needs. And you can even get gift card cash cards. So they operate just like a debit card. Shopify also, and Overstock.com, which actually I think was one of the first companies in the United States to take Bitcoin. But it's something that's happening more and more every day, and there are websites that you can actually go on and search for something. If you want to buy something, it'll tell you who sells it, where to get it. So the only complaint I ever hear about this is that this is a new thing and they don't really understand what Bitcoin is yet. And they say, well, what if I can't get on the internet? I can't get my Bitcoins. And I say it right back to them. Well, what if you can't get on the internet? You can't get to your dollars. What are you going to do, man? Look, it's already digital. You just didn't realize it. It's because they keep pounding you as a dollar. You go online to your bank account. You check your account, right? You go online here to your Bitcoin account. You check the account. You want to transfer funds from one account to another account. You can do the same with Bitcoin. Everything you can do, Bitcoin can do better. It doesn't have a lot of the limitations that the dollar does. And the more you learn about it, the more you like it. So, you know, don't worry. Everything is fine. It's not going to go anywhere. Sending and receiving money, that's always been done by these guys. PayPal, Citibank, MoneyGram, Bank of America, all these kinds, Western Union, and they're very expensive to use. And the other thing is that you've got to tell them what you wanted. What are you sending the money for? Who you send the money to? Do you know that person? And then on the other end, they want 20 questions over there too. They want your ID, they want your picture, they want your thumbprint, they want your iris scan, they want to take some of your hair. You think I'm kidding? That's happened in jurisdictions already. We don't need them anymore. We don't need them because we don't need them. We don't need third parties. We can send the coin directly to whomever we want to send it to. And we listened to one where we did help somebody get some coin in Australia. We could hear on our computer, we could hear the ping from the account sending the coin, and we could hear them, because they were on the phone at the same time, we could hear the ping from their computer when they got it, almost instantaneous. You know, tens of thousands of miles, instantaneous. and we were able to transfer the funds. We didn't have to ask anybody. You know, before that, we were trying to get money in and out of Australia, $20. It took a week or more. And the PayPal from Australia would blame the PayPal from the United States, and back and forth and back and forth. And then we tried to do it from Lithuania to Australia. Didn't work either. Took even longer over there. That's all gone. That's going to be history. Now, if you do need to use other than a computer or your phone, you can also get a debit card. BitPay offers a Visa debit card. They transfer the Bitcoins to the debit card. They're converted to dollars, so you have constructive receipt, and depending on your tax jurisdiction, you may or may not have to pay taxes on that kind of thing. There are other cards out there. I think Zappo is one of them, where you transfer the coins over to the card, but they stay on as coins. They're not turned into dollars. They don't turn into dollars or pesos or whatever until you actually use the card to buy something. And then it's converted at point of sale, wherever you happen to be. Again, you need to check the tax implications for yourself through your tax professionals. Now, this is the most complicated page we're going to talk about here. This is kind of the technology here. And back in 2008, 2009, when the whole thing started, and Satoshi Nakamoto wrote his white paper, then in 2009, the first transactions occurred. That began the mining process. And the mining process originally was being done just by geeks that were setting the whole thing up, you know, getting it started. But they knew they had to have a bigger deal. So they actually worked out a way to reward people with Bitcoins for setting up computers and mining them. What that means is they're just handling the transactions. And all the miners out there are competing with one another. It's like a big war. It's a big battle going on. They're all working on the same data that comes in, and the guy that does it first gets the block created and fits it into the blockchain, wins the award. And it has to be done every 10 minutes. That's why you need the biggest, baddest, fastest computers, and you constantly need to upgrade. Because if you don't, you can't keep up. Your computers will run out, wear out, won't be able to do the calculations. And we're going to get into that right now. So when they first started in year one, the reward to the miner when he got the block is 50 Bitcoin, plus whatever little fees they were charging. That lasted 4 years, and then they cut it in half. This is a deflationary system. This is not like dollars and other fiat currencies out there. Those are inflationary currencies. In other words, people can absolutely keep printing that paper over and over and over again until there's so many dollars out there, you don't even know how many dollars are out there. And it makes the dollar worth nothing. That's what's happened in the last 100 and some years. You know, these bankers have been in charge for a long time, and they were supposed to stabilize the business cycle. Did they do that? No. There weren't supposed to be any more crashes because if we gave them the power to manage our money. Did that stop it? No, it got worse. You even had the crash in 29. So what happens now is that the coins are designed to be scarce. There's only 21 million coins that's ever going to be created. Many of them have been lost already. There's supposedly 16 million coins in circulations right now, and a bunch of those are lost in accounts that people just forgot about in the early years. They didn't know if it was going to take off. They got their Bitcoin, they opened the account, and it's just sitting there, and they forgot. That's all there is to it. They can't get back in. Those coins are lost forever. So there never will be a total of 21 million completely in circulation. And that creates scarcity because you got 7.5 billion people on the planet. You know, you got, I mean, that's almost a minuscule amount, right? Well, the thing you don't know is that each one of those coins is kind of like a dollar. Dollar is divisible by 100 pennies. Well, Bitcoins are divisible what's called Satoshis. Satoshis are 1/1,000,000th of a Bitcoin. So each Bitcoin can be divided into 100 million pieces. And so that actually makes it very usable because what's happening here, you notice as the adoption rate increased and the Bitcoin rate award went down, see it cut in half here after the first 4 years, and then it cut in half again after the second 4 years. In July of 2016, it's down to 12.5 Bitcoin right now. But the pricing is going up and the usage is going up, and they're all chasing a finite number of Bitcoins. And so right now it's about $4,000 for a Bitcoin with a 70 billion market cap. And the coin's still going down, and more people are going to chase these coins. The more people chase the coins and the more people that adopt the coins, the higher the price, the black line. It's pretty simple, not that difficult, but we'll get into the rest of it. Now, this shows you the number of transactions. Number of transactions is indicative of the number of people indirectly that are using it. They're using it because they want to. It's a better way to do things. And so as they begin to adopt it and use it, the graph gets larger and larger, kind of following that black line that we were looking at, right? But that creates another scenario. It's called difficulty. And difficulty is why you need the biggest, baddest, fastest computers, because as more and more people adopt it and use it, the transactions get tougher and tougher to calculate. So the difficulty really is equivalent to the number of guesses that the computer has to make before it gets the solution to the block to fit it in the chain so they can receive the award of Bitcoin. Right now, for every block they get 12.5 Bitcoin, plus they get the fees, whatever they are in Bitcoin, paid in Bitcoin as well. All right, that's why you need the biggest, baddest computers there are. So that poses some serious problems for people. As the math gets more difficult, and over time, the equipment becomes outdated because it can't do the calculations. And there's three kinds of miners out there. There's the kind where you buy the machine and they sell you the machine. They're very happy to sell the machine and tell you, go forth and mine. And you do, and all of a sudden, you're not getting as much anymore because the difficulty's gone up. It's tougher and tougher to get that computer to crank out the Bitcoin. Pretty soon it becomes obsolete because the cost of electricity to keep that thing running is more than the amount of Bitcoin that you're getting. So you can mine forever for the life of the machine. The life of the machine is indicative only of so many years. You got to buy another machine. Got to put more money out of your pocket. That's no fun. The other one is cloud mining. This is where they set up a company and they buy up a bunch of machines and they lease time to you. You come in and you say, I want to buy 200 days worth of mining, and they charge you a fee. Now those contracts have to be renewed. And the machine, again, they have a problem. They've got to get the machines to upgrade. They've got to reduce their overall cost, and they want to get the newer machines that are faster and better. Well, that costs more money. So when your contract renews, are you going to get back the same deal you did when you started with? No, you're going to have to cover those different costs. So along comes Bitclub, and they had a better idea. They wanted a system in which the individual could come in and buy a pool of mining, and that would be it. He wouldn't have to come any more out of his pocket at all, and yet everything would be fine, and he'd be able to mine truly for his lifetime and beyond. The last coin is going to be mined in the year 2140, in which I'll be 192. And I'm making plans now to be there and celebrate the last coin that's going to be mined. Now, the way the Bitclub does it is this. You do buy a pool. We have three pools, $500, $1,000, and $2,000 pool. When you get all three, it's considered to be a founder position. And there's some other bonuses that you get. But the way we do this is you pay the cost of the pool. And now, as the mining occurs, a portion of that mining from everybody in the club goes to pay expenses. No debt. We don't have any debt. We don't have any leasing costs, things like that. Everybody owns their own machines. They also participate in what's called a repurchase agreement. And that repurchase agreement begets partial shares. You see these guys here, the big B's here, they beget the little B's down here. Because what happens is every time there's enough mining after cost of operation, that generates 2.5%. 2.5% of the value of the pool. So if it's a $500 pool, it's 2.5%. It's about $12.50. So every time it generates $12.50, you can have it buy you a baby B here. Okay, and another partial share of that pool, and it begins to mine for 1,000 days. Now, pretty soon these little shares turn into be big shares, full shares. Right, and you see this layering effect that's occurring. The first that you mined with this length of time, next year you got this much mining plus what you're doing up here. The third year you got this much mining, and this continues on and on and on and on and on. You never run out of mining this way. Now, it used to be that our contracts lasted 600 days. Those are the older, inefficient machines. The machines that we're doing now have a lifetime of 1,000 days. So you get the benefit of that. Right? That's what your little B's and repurchase agreements are going to do for you. So we've solved the problem. The math can get more difficulty, no problem, because we always are going to have equipment that does not go outdated. The outdated equipment will be sold and new equipment will be put in to keep it up with the Joneses. You've got to have the computers to do the hash power. And the current state of computing right now is nitrogen-cooled computers. You can't do those in your back office, your back room, your bathroom, your bedroom, anywhere. It's a special kind of a program, and it's just no longer, an amateur's game. You can still go out and mine some Bitcoin. You certainly can, but it's going to be tough because we sell off the old inefficient machines to other people. We don't continue to use them over time. Now, there are some alternative points of view. They say, well, if instead of paying $3,600 to get a founder's position, why don't we just take that and buy some stocks? Maybe you could go buy some some trading on a Forex thing. You can figure out how to do it. Other people have done it. Some have done it very successfully. Others have really lost their butt. And listen, it's no fun being tied to that computer screen. You got to be there. You got to pay attention to what's going on when you're doing day trades and things like that. And stocks, you don't know whether a stock is good or bad. What are you doing? Listen to the story of these guys on TV tell you? Heck, everything is there. By the time they're telling the story, all the money's been made. These guys are taking positions way in advance. You don't know. There's no way. How is you as an individual going to be able to go out there and evaluate a company? I mean, these large institutions and mutual funds and others, they've got reams of people to go out and do that. They send their accountants out there. They send their attorneys out there to look at the company, find out what's going on. You could also buy some gold, some silver stuff, and hang on to that. But it's how are you going to use it? If you really had a bad time and you're in a bad situation and you got coins in your pocket, let's say you got some gold coins, you run out of the grocery store, you want to get some groceries. Okay, so maybe they got some diapers in this week. You got kids. Maybe they got some bread in this week, and maybe you got some powdered milk in this week. And you gather all this up and you go to the registry. You want to check out. You're gonna hand them a gold coin. What are you gonna do? What are they gonna do with that? Coin might be worth $5,000, right? Your groceries worth what? $500-$600. What are you going to do? Try to shave the coin in front of them? And the other thing is there's going to be a lot of people hanging around those stores that want to have access to food. So if they see that you got gold coins in your pocket, you're going to make it to your car. They might try to take them from you. It's just not a good idea in bad times to be using this stuff and try to do it in public. You can't do it. And if you think you're going to get full value for the coin, it's going to be worth $20,000. Really? Okay. It's kind of like the guy when you're walking down the street in Chicago, their division in Wells. The guy walks up to you with a raincoat on, and he opens it up, and it's full of all kinds of things. You got switchblade knives in there, and you got pocket watches and all this kind of crap he's got inside his coat. And they're all knockoffs. Well, you got to prove authenticity of your coin. And if somebody's on the street and you're trying to sell this thing on the black market instead of the official exchange rate, and even if you do the exchange rate, you still have to prove the coin is real. How are you going to do that? Anybody can type up an MS-65 and put it on there. If it's a numismatic, it's even worse because their value is the type of coin, the age of the coin, how fine it is and stuff. I used to be very much involved in that kind of stuff, and I got out of it because it's very, very hard to know what you're doing and what you're getting. And it's just not a good deal. Second thing is just buy some Bitcoins and hang on to them. They're going to go up in value. I'm going to prove that to you in a little while. And it's a strategy. You could certainly do that. But 5 years later, you got the same amount of coins. You need more. You need more. Everybody wants more, right? That's what we're made of, more. So the best thing to do is to buy the goose. Buy the mine. Buy the mine that created the coin that you have. Why not? Why not own the goose that'll continually lay golden eggs for you the rest of your life and your children's lives? That's what you want to get your hands on. Then you don't have to worry about all this other garbage. Everything will be fine, just fine. Trust me, as they say on the street. Trust me. It's a good deal for you, man. Just for you. Trust me. Okay, so this is what the mines originally looked like. This is one of the first mining pools right here for the Bitclub. Listen, this thing started as a family and friends deal. These guys got together and decided they were going to do some mining, and they went to their family and friends to get the money to get it started. And somebody talked to somebody else, and then they wanted to get in, and somebody else talked to them, and they wanted to get in, and then the next guy wanted to get in. This is a very, very safe program because they aren't going to lose any money because all of their family and friends are in it. They'd kill them. Anyway, it's grown to 300,000 members, and people love it. It's waiting lists already. We've got more people than we can get in at one time. It takes time to put them in here to get the machines going. But this is more the current state of what the machines look like right now. This is called the S9s. Now, our S9s are different than everybody else's S9s they buy on the street or on the public. Those have the 28 nanometer chips in them. We have the 16 nanometer chips. Much more efficient, much more efficient. The reason we do is because we're partners with Bitfury. Bitfury manufactures those chips, and we pay in advance for it. We buy all their stuff. Also for Bitmain, we get the boxes and the machines, the hardware to put the chips in. We get those from Bitmain. When they come out with a new box, we get it first. We and they get it. Everybody else has got to wait in line. So we're in a preferred position. And we're continuing to grow and grow and grow because of it. You can't do what we can do. And you can participate here. You can join with us, because when you join, you become an owner. Your machines are actually going to be part of that pool, and everybody in that pool is an owner of the pool. You've got to think of this thing as a crowdfunded cooperative. That's a good way to think of it right there, because that's how it works. And the individuals manage it. The ones that are higher up in the income level have more responsibility than the ones in the lower income level. And the kind of idea is they know how everything operates, and they're not going to do anything to screw it up. They got such a good deal here. Why never would they want to kill the goose? It's just not going to happen. But the big clubs came from 0 3 years ago into the top 5% of the miners in the world. And if somebody says they're mining and their name is not in this chart, they're not mining. They're doing something else. These are the only ones that are mining at profitability. Why do you have to be profitable? Because you have expenses, not the least of which is electricity costs. So this is just a static chart. This is actually live. You can go to blockchain.info right there. You can see this chart. You can find it real easy because it's the only one that's circling in color. And I'll show you one of those later. These are guys that have invested in it, like Branson. He's got all the money in the world. What do you think he's doing over here? Look at Gates, Billy Gates too. He's in it. It's got to be cool if Gates is in it, right? He's putting money into the program. These are the Winklevoss twins. These are the guys that tried to get the first exchange-traded fund publicly launched here in the United States that would use Bitcoin. That would really push the price up of Bitcoin very fast. I'm not in favor of them doing that, but it would certainly increase the value of the coin very rapidly. Now, the other guys here is Mike Tyson is a boxer, and Ashton Kutcher is an actor. Neither one of those professions is going to last a lifetime. They can't box forever, and you can't be an actor forever. Well, maybe they can. I don't know about that. But the point is that typically it doesn't last. So they have to do something in order to protect their future financially. What did they do? They got into Bitcoin, and it's a big deal, and they're coming out really well, and so will you. Now, Bernanke over here, he's smiling like the old Cheshire cat. You can't see his teeth, but they're back there. And what's going on is he's happy because we're getting rid of fiat currency. He wants it to go bye-bye. The bankers don't want you to have it anymore because it's secret. They do more bad stuff with dollars than they do with anything else, yet they try to say Bitcoin is the problem. No, Bitcoin is the thing that takes us away from guys like this and puts us at safety, gets our transactions safe. They can't inflate us. What we have is worth more tomorrow than it is today. A dollar is not worth more tomorrow, it's worth less. So that means you got to spend that little sucker right now to get full value. If you try to put it aside and save it, what are they doing? You put it in a bank account? Well, you don't have it in a mattress, you got it in a bank account. So they charge you to hold your own money, right? Well, the neat trick is it's not your money. To change the laws and the way things work, you're a creditor of the bank. You have their money, they're giving you the privilege of using it as a benefit. How's that one? Well, it isn't going to grab you much later because they're going to take it anyway, and you're not going to be able to have the cash. So you got to get into Bitcoin, and you better do it in a doggone hurry and start learning about this stuff because it's the only thing that's going to save your butt. These are the companies that are very much involved in trying to control Bitcoin. Now, they can't really control Bitcoin. They can control maybe some of the companies that call themselves exchanges or some of the companies that call themselves custodial companies where they just hold it in the accounts for you because they get themselves licensed. They actually go in and they sign up for a license, you stupid people, to operate a business. You don't need to do that, really. This isn't money. I mean, there's no way that, well, whatever, they're doing it. So these guys want to control the blockchain technology. Bitcoin was the first thing that was developed for blockchain technology. It is going to absolutely change everything, the way we do everything. It is a change coming. It is a magnitude equivalent to the railroads being funded and the electricity coming online and radio coming about all at the same time. Look at all the changes that occurred. You gotta listen to Andreas Antonopoulos. You gotta go over to our generic website, which is joinbitcoinclub.com. Joinbitcoinclub.com. And scroll down to the bottom of the page, and there's Andreas, and you listen to Andreas. He'll tell you. He's going to tell you what Bitcoin is and what Bitcoin is not. And so when you begin to understand the power of what Bitcoin is, and the Bank of Finland just came out and admitted it, they cannot control Bitcoin. There's no possible way. Same with Nigeria, said the same thing. Malaysia said the same thing. You cannot control Bitcoin. So why are all these banks and these people trying to control us? Because they want to still own us. Well, it's not going to happen. Now, these are the software companies, which overlap the mining companies, which overlap the hardware companies, and the custodial companies, and then the exchange companies where you can, buy and sell and do trades. And then there's all these other ancillary companies that are associated with doing things with Bitcoin. This ecosystem is just going to continue to grow. And why not? It's just completely convenient. All you need is a phone. You really don't need anything else because everything can be done with your phone. Andreas says that if you have just a flip phone, standard old text flip phone, and you have a solar cell powering it up and you've got a connection to the internet, you have a Swiss bank in your pocket. You can do everything a bank can do. It's one of the things he'll point out when you listen to that one video. It's really cool. We actually developed a special program called CoinPay, and we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But right now we're going to talk about valuing a Bitcoin. See, right now it's $70 billion cap value. That's more money than PayPal is worth. That's flowing through PayPal. And so it's the amount of money flowing through that we capitalize. Now, that gives us a $4,000 value right now. Well, if you just took $88 billion that Amazon does, see, right now they're paying a 3% transaction fee, which means their fees are $2.6 billion. They net $1 billion a year doing that. If they would just cut out the credit cards and debit cards, they would have that $2.6 billion to put back in your pocket. They double their profit, more than double their profit. You think they're going to do it? I do. It makes sense too. And why wouldn't you? What an easy thing to do to double your profit. And at 89 billion was all going through Bitcoin system. That adds another $6,300. Well, if you go to the 4,000 we already have, you add the 6,300 to it, you're $10,000 coin already. And Tim Draper said it's going to be $10,000. I'll show you that in a minute. Another thing is the remittances. This is where money is moved from country to country, border to border, different jurisdictions all the time. And in 2014, it was $600 billion, and they paid up to 20% of the amount of money that they were sending as a fee. It's highway robbery going through these banks. Well, if they switch it to Bitcoin, that 600 billion added to the 6,300 and the 4,000 value that we already have adds another 42,000. You're over $50,000 a coin right there, just that fast. Gambling only adds a couple thousand. It's not a big deal, but gasoline does. 65 billion gallons of gasoline went through. Cost is about 2%. They save all that money. $234 billion flowing through in gasoline. If that was all going through Bitcoin, that'd add another $34,000. Now we're over $75,000 a coin. Right there, just with those changes with those three companies. And you've got to consider all the gaming companies. They all take Bitcoin now. Here's another one, Big Point Games. Okay, here's Tim Draper. He's the one that said in September 12th, 2014, that Bitcoin was going to be $10,000 a coin in 3 years. That's where we are right now. Right, we're in September 2017, 3 years later, and it's pushing on 6,000 right now, soon to be 10. It's just around the corner. It's going to happen. So let's look at all these numbers. You add these things all up. Well, what do you think it's going to be, the value of a coin is going to be if you transfer just 1% of the asset base of the United States into it? You're talking over $1 million a coin already. Way over $1 million a coin. What if you have 7 billion people on the planet, 7.5 billion people on the planet, and all that's flowing through 1% of the base value of the earth? You're talking trillions of dollars in a coin. So why wouldn't you want to get some coin now and hang on to it? You think it'd be a good idea? This is the point. In my entire investing life, it's the only question I've ever asked myself was money moving into something or money moving out of something? That's all I needed to know. I didn't care what they made. I didn't care what they did. Doesn't matter. I'm there for a monetary gain. Money is rushing to Bitcoin at light speed, and the majority of people do not know this. Right now, you can educate them, and you can be extremely profitable in the future because Bitcoin is going to be a currency that's going to be better and more equivalent and prevalent than gold. Gold is not easy to use. It's not easy to go across borders. Look at all the things that we've had down here with the problems that we've had. Look at all the people with the hurricanes having to move and go different places. You can't be hauling gold around like that. It's not going to work. Probably underwater anyway, maybe. That was the case. One of my guys that worked with me back with Katrina, his money was 14 feet underwater. He didn't have any money. He couldn't buy a house. There was some housing available, but there's no way he could get in it. So you got to consider what's going to happen. Why wouldn't you do that? Look at all these industries we didn't even talk about. They're going to start using Bitcoin. Plus, you got 2.5 billion people on the face of the earth that are not even banked. They don't have a bank account. They don't have any way to do commerce. But they do now through Bitcoin because the whole thing can be done through your phone. They don't need computers and they don't need tablets or anything like that. What do you think is going to happen to the value of Bitcoin when all that money begins flowing through coin? It's just going to skyrocket. So, is money flowing into Bitcoin? A resounding yes. Should you buy any? Well, you better if you want to have a financial future because they're going to crash this puppy. The debt is unpayable. The unfunded mandates, the Social Security, the Medicare, the pension program, they can't pay it. There's no possible way. So get into the alternative system here where there's going to be growing value that you can jump in and take advantage of. Why wouldn't you do it? There's also CoinPay. You see, when you become a member owner in the club, you get to take advantage of all of the technologies that are developed by the club. If you join now at the $3,500 level, there's a bonus of 2,000 shares paid to you in the CoinPay company that's based in Hong Kong. Got a CEO and everything. What's CoinPay? CoinPay is a system whereby you can go to a merchant and say, hey, look, if I could show you an idea that would absolutely reduce your cost, increase your business, guarantee your cash flow, get you away from the banks, you wouldn't have to hassle with credit cards anymore, you got guaranteed payment, would that be something you'd be wanting to look at? They're going to want to do that. Anytime you're bumping up their profits, look how much more money they're going to make when they don't have to deal with credit card companies. There's no threat of chargebacks. You never worry what your cash flow is going to be every month because it's there. The other thing is it could double or triple the market because people can pay with their coins. So this is just an app. The guy's got the app on his phone. He's going to use CoinPay. The merchant bought the system for a couple $100 and got it all set up. He's going to use CoinPay to receive coins. In other words, pay people will be able to come up with their phone. He'll give them a QR code, either printed on a piece of paper, just like you do a receipt, or you put it on the screen. You take your camera and you shoot it, and the coin comes out of your wallet. Maybe he paid with Bitcoin. Maybe he paid with Ethereum. Maybe he paid with Monero, Zcash, or Dash. Doesn't matter. In the system, it automatically converts to the currency or the coin that the merchant wants. Seamlessly, 1% cost, max cost of 1%. If you've referred that person to the club, and we've got a hell of a field force because we got 300,000 members, they're all going to be talking about this to people all over the world. Best thing going. If you refer somebody and the merchant wants to do it, you get 50% of that 1% charge right off the bat for as long as he uses it. And that can add up. How many transactions do you think occur every 10 minutes through all of the Visas, MasterCards, American Express, Diners Club, all these crazy debit cards go on every 10 minutes? Millions of them, millions of them. Now, we got another thing, too, because the club has its own coin. It's called Club Coin. Club Coin is manufactured by and mined by Bitclub. They don't sell it to us. They give it to us. You also get a bonus of 50 Club Coin. Well, why? How does that interface with CoinPay? Well, the system will know that if we, a member in Bitclub, pay with our Club Coin to that merchant, we have pre-negotiated a discount or bonus for you for him doing business with you. Now, that's one of the reasons why the transaction cost is so low, is because we want to negotiate these discounts for our members. Another advantage, it's just amazing. Now, we know for a fact that this is going to be extremely disruptive technology, and those credit cards and other banks are going to be really wanting to get their hands on this system. They'll just buy it from us, and they expect to sell it, and it probably will be a multi-billion-dollar sale. Well, if you got shares of CoinPay because you're a member of the club and you came in as a founder, you're going to participate in that sale. If you don't, you're not. So I urge you all to get into the founder position. That's buying the three pools, the $500, the $1,000, and the $2,000 pool, and get those shares. It's really worth it for your future. Okay, well, that's it for the Bitclub story. It's $99 to get in there as a membership. You can come in and kick the tires and do that kind of stuff. Once you're in, you find out that you really like it, and it's a really great place to be, and it's the best thing I think you can do for your financial future, for yours and your families. Then you can start putting the money in without a worry. You're not going to lose any sleep at night about losing anything. It's just not going to happen here. You can't. The system's been operating for 3 years, went from 0 to the top 5% of the miners, and we're already a $1 billion company. We've got 300,000 members, and we have a waiting list of people to get in. How are you going to lose on that deal? And the world is rushing to Bitcoin, and they need us and our products. Okay, let me stop here. I'm going to go through a couple other things because we've gone almost an hour already. Okay, let's take a look over here. Those partial shares I was talking about, this is what the pools look like in the back office. So here we have 2.5 shares, 2.4 shares, and 2.46 shares. Now, what happened when we first bought our full shares, they were right there. We now have 900 days left. We had 1,000 days. See all the way across? Bought it all at the same time. And then down here on June 29th, 20 days later, we got our first partial share from the mining that was going on. And it bought a partial share, and there's 921 days left on it. Well, it continues to buy, and as it goes, it accelerates. The days get shorter and shorter and shorter. Here's 3 days, from 6th to the 9th. From the 9th to the 12th is 4 days, or 3 days. And here from 2 to 16th is 4 days. You see that? And these all have 1,000 days of mining. So you get that layered effect I was talking about, but this layered effect continues on and on and on and on. These shares up here will expire, but we'll have all these shares below us that will continue to mine, hundreds of them. And so as the production kicks up and people are adopting more and more, and the Bitcoin award goes down, we'll be getting all those fees paid to us in Bitcoin as well. That's why you can't lose anything here. It's exactly the reason. All right, that's what it looks like. And so this is the hash rate. This is a live one. Live chart, and see ant pools here. They got a smaller share than they did. These are all Chinese companies here. Bitclub right now has 4% of the pool. And if we want to know what they're really doing, this is how I can prove to you that they're real. We click on their name, and we're going to head on over into the last hashtag code that they got for that block that they did on the 26th at 11:37. And we're going to click that, and it's going to take us right to that transaction. Here it is. We get to see it. And now right now it's denominated in dollars. That should read 12.5 Bitcoin. And the fees that they got were $3,823, all denominated in Bitcoin. So I can switch that back to Bitcoin so you can see what happens when we do that. In the meantime, while we're waiting for that thing to flip back to Bitcoin, notice this is newly generated coins. We don't issue coins here. We create the coins here by the process. And now remember, this Bitclub program is a big club, right? It's a big cooperative. And what do we want to do? We want to grow that cooperative. That's the whole point. And so what's available to you is you can actually go and refer people to the club, and you get a commission for the deal. It's like a money finder program. And they pay you into a binary program, which builds in a residual. And everybody who comes in and begins to be part of the mine, if you referred them in, you also get some residual off of their mining too. Well, how many people can you refer in? I don't know, 10, 20, 30, couple thousand, 30,000, 40,000? Listen, we got 7.5 billion people on the planet. There's no shortage of need for this. Most people are walking around and are pennies away from being out of the house, kicked out of the thing. You know, nobody's making enough money. Now, here's your 12.5 Bitcoin award, and the fees came in as Bitcoin. They came in as almost a full coin, 0.979 Bitcoin, right? So there's a total of 13.47 Bitcoin available on there, and we got to pay it to where? We're going to pay it to the Bitclub. This is their bank account. So we click on that number right there, and it takes us to their bank account. And it says that they've received $232,904,318, which has been distributed to the members. And in addition, they got $44,862,000 in the bank. This is not a fly-by-night deal, guys. This is the real deal. This is not a Ponzi. You hear people out there saying, it's a Ponzi, it's a Ponzi. Well, no Ponzi ever worked like this. They don't show you everything. All these other fly-by-night internet guys out there, we've lost tons of money with those people. No more. We don't have to worry about that anymore. That's why I'm so excited about it as a planner. I actually have something I can recommend to somebody that is real value that is going to get just better, not worse, over time. It's not an overnight deal. I mean, you have to do some things here. You can just come and mine. You don't have to do anything there. And there's a way to use your mining that's going to generate more Bitcoin for you. But if you refer people to the program, you can also get additional commissions and stuff. It's a perfect system, perfect system. Okay, so let's move on here a little bit. let's go over here and take a look at the hash rate pool. This is the Bitclub pool itself. It'll pop up here. When they first started, we only had a little hash rate down here. Now we've got 300 petahash. That's pretty big. That's more computing power than that takes to run Google around the world. Pretty soon we will be at 500 petahash, and after that we're going to go even higher. We're going to be the biggest miner out there. We're already the biggest GPU, the graphic card mining, for Ethereum, Monero, Cash, Dash, and Zcash. So we mine more than just the Bitcoin. Plus Bitcoin Cash is also going to be included in there in the future. But we're the largest GPU mining pool out there. It's programmed. You can go to Block Trail and you can see these blocks that we were talking about, and you can count them. They get paid every day. So after that payday, here's one day ago. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks so far already. Pretty neat. It's all transparent right there. Bitclub Network. See that? And you can go over, look at the details. This is all clickable stuff. You can go right into the basic transactions. Now, talk about money. These are the guys that actually do the investing. Remember we talked about Richard Branson? Look at there, right here. There he is, right there, Virgin Group. Okay. Down here is Bank of America, HSBC, Banco Bradesco, Barclays, Ing, an insurance company, Wells Fargo Bank. Here is Bitmain and Bitfury Group. I mean, these guys are all investing in newer technologies, and these banks are all over the place. You just have to keep going down through here and see who's in here. But what I really want to show you, this is the truth. Did I say about money coming into something or money going out of something? Look at this. In 2012, there was only 2 million invested in the program. People were actually speculating out there. Hey, here's the Winklevoss guys. There they are right there, Winklevoss. Here's Roger Ver right there. Here's Ashton Kutcher right there. Huh? You take the time to go through this list, you're going to see a lot of people. But anyway, here's the point. 2 million in 2012, 2017, 1,799,000. I ask you again, is money moving into this or money moving out of it? It's moving into it at light speed. You want to ride the wave. That's why you want to be a part of the Bitclub. It will assure your financial future. I'm telling you that as a planner. This is what my recommendation is for people. This is what you should use. This is why I'm working with it. Go talk to your planner. You know, if he doesn't know anything about Bitcoin, run. Don't sit there and waste your time talking to him because he doesn't know what he's talking about. Okay, let's go a little further. I want to show what it looks like when we get paid. Well, I'm only going to show you 3 pay streams. There's more. And we get paid on a bunch of different things, about 12 different items. But these are what we call a cycle bonus. In other words, we have a binary system set up, and every time somebody buys a pool, you get credit for that. 21 credits for a founder's pool. You only need 15 on each side, left and right, in order to cycle. And we do often. So here's one cycle. Here are 2 cycles. Another 1, 1, 2, 1. Here's 4, 800 right there. And here's another single one. It's not moving. Come on. Oh, I guess I don't have a big. There's another one down here. It's 1,000. Oh, there's 1,000 right there. Okay, that's 5 cycles in a day. You can certainly live on that, can't you? I think so. Here is something called the level up side. This is the unilevel side. Everybody in the binary is also on a team system. This is only 3% commission. It's $15. 3% commission on this one's 105, 105, 80 cents, 80 cents. See, it doesn't matter. It adds up. You know, it's the same thing when the guy says, you want $1 million or would you rather get a penny that doubles every day for a month for 30 days? You want the penny. It doubles. That's what this is. Our pennies coming in every single day. Every single day we are getting more pennies, and that is pushing the value up for us. And then if that's not enough, they also have what's called an infinity bonus. They want to make sure you get paid on everything that comes through your hands. And that's a 1% lifetime infinity bonus on everything that comes in underneath you. That's amazing. Anyway, I've talked long enough. Let's shut this down and see if you guys have any questions or comments. And if not, we'll get on with the rest of our day.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there anybody that would like to ask a question? Just unmute yourself, or I can unmute them. Okay.
There aren't very many people. Hey, they're all doing something else.
Well, let's see.
Oh,
Come on, that's too much noise. Who's
yeah,
talking?
I'm trying. Yeah, it's the baby. She said, good job.
All right.
All right.
Is that Kenneth trying to talk? They need to raise their hands so you know who they are.
Well, you'll have to go down to the chat box and
No, the
find
participants tab. Participants tab.
participants. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
down
then
at the
just
bottom.
raise your hand.
Click on that, and there'll be a little button down there to raise your hand. There it is. There's Carl.
Hello, Carl.
Hey, how y'all doing tonight?
Wonderful. And yourself?
Great, yeah. No, doing good.
Linda?
I was hoping for my guy to show up tonight, but yeah, they had a on-the-job accident right when he was walking out the door to go home, and
Oh, no.
we had to
Well,
stay and take care of that. So sorry, but I do have a question today. I on one of my positions that I had started out with just the pool one. I went ahead and got the other two pools today.
Good.
And I got my club coin.
Yeah.
But I received no of the others. The BitPay or whatever it is.
You
Not
mean the
BitPay. What's it
2,000
called?
shares of the CoinPay?
Yes.
Sure
I did not receive any shares.
Sure you did. You have to go over there and look under it.
Yeah, and I did, and I have. As of right now, of course, I did that today, and I know the others. It took a while.
You might want to wait until tomorrow after they
That's
pay.
what I'm wondering if it would be a delay thing.
I don't know. Maybe they changed it already. Remember, they were coming to the end of the 2,000 shares, going to 1,000 shares. So I don't know.
Well, I would wait until after tomorrow's pay and then see if it's not in there, or it could show up later on today.
Yeah,
For
good.
sure.
CoinPay shares, yeah, there's none there. There's zero. So I was, it's going from 2,000 to 1,000 soon. So hopefully I'll get the 2,000 and.
Well, you will.
Okay. I'll just wait. And I'm just wondering if y'all had heard.
Yeah, Kenneth's also saying there's a time delay for after when you purchase.
Okay. Well, that was my question. So
yep, come back tomorrow and let us know.
All right, I'll do it. Thank y'all.
All right. Okay, is there anybody else? Kenneth, do you have any questions? Or anyone? If not, we're going to be back here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's Wednesday, right?
Yes, already.
Okay. Had to double check myself there.
I know it.
This week has gone, well, they just kind of run together anymore. But we'll be back, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time in the morning. Come back, invite some guests, and ask any questions that you can think of. I guess nobody has any comments.
Good job. Just keep it up. I'll keep trying to get my people here.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
Another great call. Thank you very much.
They're recorded. You guys can share them. So
on our Facebook group.
Do you guys have a recorded version of this video, like a playback?
It will be up on the Facebook group a little later today.
And you can get with Peter, and he can add you into our Facebook group there.
I'll make sure it's set up. No worries.
Perfect. All right.
And there are
awesome.
that are already there. We put everything over there, so you won't. There's no shortage of them.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
See you guys.
Well, y'all have a good night. Thanks for coming, and we will see you tomorrow morning. Take care.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.